Today we're here to show you how to care and maintain your Shuttle 2001. First of all, we're going to show you how to disengage the carriage in order to check the bands and also to clean the rails. Once we have removed the carriage, we can turn it over and inspect the bottom. Underneath the carriage, we'll be able to check for tightness of the seat. First of all, you want to wiggle that. If there's any wobbling in the seat, there's 4 screws on the bottom, which I'll show you how to tighten. What we'll do is we'll look right under the end of the seat here, and we will find a bar that runs, a silver bar that runs across, that has the rebound elastics in it. We'll simply turn that and push it up. When you disengage it, it'll push up into the machine, and this will allow the machine to pass over the stops, and this will slip it right out the back. I'm doing this myself now, but normally you'd want to get someone to assist you with this, so it makes it a little bit easier to turn over. Now, in order to tighten up the seat, if your seat has become loose, there are 4 screws in the bottom of your seat that go from the frame into the seat. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you would need a Phillips head screwdriver for an older machine, or for the newer ones, we would use an Allen wrench. So now what we would do is just reach down in here. There's 4 screws, number 1 here. I'm going to tighten this one. Now that one's pretty tight, so I'm going to do it really snug. And as you notice, beneath this nut we have a lock washer. So if your machine is missing a lock washer, make sure to put a lock washer under there. You can get that at the hardware store. And then we're going to come up here, and there's 2 on the front. Now this one needs tightening as well. I'm going to tighten that up nice and snug. And then the 4th screw we'll check over here like so and give that a little tightening. Now that's all you need to do to tighten that up, and it'll make your seat nice and firm. The backrest is relatively easy to change. There's 2 bolts underneath it here, one on this side and one on the other. By disengaging those, we can take the backrest off and then replace the padded upholstery. The other thing you want to check on your backrest is to make sure that the backrest lifts here are working properly. There are 2 positions. Now when this is set up properly, the Velcro on this should meet up with the Velcro on the back of the carriage here, and that will secure that in place. By lifting up, that can drop that off. I can put it in the taller support, and again its Velcro wants to match with the Velcro here, and which will hold it into place. Now if this strap has become disattached, you'll see something like this laying around your clinic, possibly attached, tied onto the machine somewhere. What you will do is, at the end here, you will feel the Velcro, and this wants to go down and through the bar here on the back of the backrest. Okay, and that little knob locks in like so. What I'll do is I'll bring this down here and attach it on to the back here. There's a piece of Velcro here, and I'll adjust it. I'll make sure this is right. Now this might not, there we go, I got it the first time. And you want to adjust that up and down to where this piece of Velcro here will match on the end of the machine, and that will stabilize the backrest. So again, if this piece is off, we simply take this Velcro here and reattach it like so, and then this will allow us to re-engage that. While inspecting your machine, you also want to check your headrest for tears. Sometimes tears here, around here, can form. We have replaceable covers for these that are available on our website. The seat of your machine should have 2 lateral handles. These handles simply disengage like so, and then re-engage anywhere depending on the size of the patient for their hand grip. It's nice too to remove these when you're loading a patient, especially from a wheelchair, and you need to get them right next to the machine. You can take that off, scoot them on, and then plug that right back in like so. It's important to check these for wear. Sometimes these will get cracking in them. We do have replacements for these on our website. Once we remove the carriage, then we can clean the rails. What you need to do is take an ordinary cleaner, even your disinfectant, and spray in the rails here. After a time, you'll find that you get a buildup of dirt and grime in there. And so what we'll do is we'll simply take a clean rag and wipe, pull pull all the debris and dirt out of there and get it nice and clean. That'll give you a real smooth action with your carriage as it runs back and forth on the track. In order to maintain the kick plate, we need to keep it working free to slide back and forth for your adjustments and also up and down, and I'll show you how to do that right now. The kick plate is adjusted, is loosened up, so you can adjust it with these two levers here and the two knobs in the back. Once we've untightened those, the kick plate should run back smoothly back and forth for easy adjustment. So this is especially nice when you need to change the angle of flexion on a patient. You can easily move this forward to increase or move it away to decrease. Then once it's in place, you can simply lock it down. I suggest using the two forward knobs for your treatment for light loading and closed chain treatment. Now if you're going to be doing plyometric jumping, I would also engage the two knobs in the back to secure the kick plate so it's good and solid. Now in order to maintain this kick plate, I would suggest on an annual basis or whenever it starts to get a little bit sticky is to pull the kick plate back and to apply some lubricant. But I'll take the lubricant and put a little on my finger here and then wipe it on this rail and on the bottom as well, like so. It doesn't take much, just enough to get a little bit of lubricant on there. And then I'll take and put it back in and run it back and forth a couple times, and that one's really nice and smooth now. So when I put it into place and lock it down. To lock it, we'll twist it clockwise until it's snug, and to release that, we can also we'll turn it counterclockwise until it's loose, and that will allow us to slide it back and forth. Now, this also has a feature of a clutch in the knob, so if it ends up in this position here when it's tight, you can simply pull the knob out and twist it down. It has a little spring-loaded lock in there, so you don't have to have it up in the patient's way. So we can just turn it down like so. Now on the back side here, this knob, I'll show you really quick. Like, what you want to do is to check and make sure that these threads are working nicely. I'm going to take this off. Sometimes after a period of wear, the insert, which is brass in this knob, will wear off and load up the threads in the bolt here. Now, if that happens, what all you do is simply take a piece of cloth, grab that and turn it counterclockwise, and that will unthread or draw out any of the material that's caught in the threads, and then restore it to its proper working order. After you've cleaned the threads, what you can do then is put your spring back on, and you'll place on your phenolic washer over the top of that, and then your fender washer. Then we'll take our knob, holding that down, we'll take our knob and thread that on like so, and then we can just go ahead and then just tighten that down or loosen it up. The idea of the spring in this behind this knob is it holds the washer away from the rail, so when you come past the end point, which sometimes you will do if you need more extension, and you go back, it keeps it from catching on the rail. Makes it a little bit easier to adjust. In order to adjust the kick plate, I'll loosen up the lower knob, turning it counterclockwise, which allows me to slide the kick plate up and down, position it anywhere in between. So I can just put it right where I want it, turn it clockwise, lock it down until it's snug, and away you go. Your shuttle has a kick plate with a removable cover. If this kick plate becomes worn or torn, you can simply remove it. It's held on by Velcro, we can just take it right off. Underneath the kick plate you will find a rigid foam. This is what makes your landing on your 2001 especially soft for your clients. So that just goes on like so. The Velcro on the edge of your kick plate also serves to attach your foot supports, which is especially good for your patients who are subconditioned or post-surgical and they can't hold their feet against the kick plate, what we can do here with the Velcro is simply attach that like so, and with these straps here come around the bottom in order to secure it. And that will allow people to support their feet against the kick plate without having for the therapist to hold it up, or for them to rely on their strength to hold it up against the kick plate. On the top of the kick plate, we can simply hang our wobble board over the edge, and it hangs right like so. You can move it again bilaterally or hang it in the center. And again, it will move up and down by simply changing the position on the bar here. We can move it down like so. This also easily stores on the back. We can just flip this around and hang it on the back of our kick plate here like so. The first thing we want to look at with the 2001 are the cords. They're the item that gets the most wear. What I'll do is pull the cord out and inspect the end. Now these are brand new cords, so these are quite taut. You'll find that with an older machine these might be kind of loose and dangling. That would indicate that they're ready to be replaced. Also, what you want to look for is for cracking at the end of the band here. If you see cracks in the band right here, that is indicated that they're very worn. Okay, now below you'll find on the newer models the micro cords, and the same thing would apply here, as you would look for cracking here or for sagging in the cord. The proper way to engage these cords is to pull them straight out and drop them into the notch. Now when disengaging the cords, it's important not to kick them out and let them snap back. You want to pull them out and then gently put them back into the machine. On the bottom ones here, the same would apply. Pull out, gently engage like so, and then to disengage, put them back into their slot. Now I'm going to show you the wrong way here real quick. Like this is really not the way you want to do it. Is to simply go like so. This will cause additional wear and tear on the cords and lessen their lifetime. An average set of cords in a high volume facility should run about 3 to 5 years. So if you find that they're wearing out faster, you might be disengaging them properly. Another thing you want to avoid is to leaving the bands engaged, especially overnight. Between patients it's not a problem, but if you leave these out for extended periods of time, it is going to tend to stretch them out and to lessen their lifetime. Same applies with the smaller cord here, like so, the micro cords. I'm going to now show you how to lubricate and maintain these cords. We suggest that you lubricate these every 6 months. When lubricating your bands, it's important to use the proper materials. We supply a pure silicone gel, which prevents the bands from oxidizing and also prevents them from wearing where they go through the guide into the carriage. Look for the silicone gel on our website. Your machine will come with a small amount for the first 2 lubes. After that, you can get it off our website. Lubrication of the bands on your 2001 is important to extend their lifetime. I'm going to show you how to do it. What we suggest is to have someone assist you here. I'll have somebody pull, I'm going to engage one band and have someone pull that back, okay, to expose the band. And I'll take my gel here. I have a tube that we supply through the company, or there's a small amount that comes with your machine. Put just a pea-size amount on your finger here. I use a rubber glove because it makes it a lot tidier. And I'll come here and wipe that on the band, and I'll make sure to get the top and bottom, and from the very end and up to about 2 feet, 2.5 feet is plenty. This is where most of the wear and tear happens, like so. Now I'll have you put that back down, like so. Then I'll disengage this band. Now I'll engage the next band and do that again. Pea-size amount of the lubricant is enough, and I'll just start at one end and work my way down to the other, like so. Now just go ahead and do that with all the bands, and I would suggest every 6 months would be a good time frame. And that will keep your bands from oxidizing, also keeps them from chafing as they go through the guide on the end of the carriage here. Now to replace the band, we simply pop it out, like so, and I'll grab at this end here and we'll pull it right out. So we just pull it out, and then we'll just string in the new band the way the old one came out. We'll pull it up like so. I pull it out a little bit like this, stretch it, and it snaps right in. There you go. So So very easy to replace a band on a 2001.
I love it when you talk to me, though I don't understand a single word you say. Your accent sounds so bourgeoisie to a hick like me from Tennessee, but you make me feel just like $1,000,000 francs. It's like money in the bank. Bonjour, mon ami. Would you give me back my joie de vivre and let me bid adieu to lonely days? Bonjour, ma chérie. The time for love is aujourd'hui. I wanna see just what a French kiss ought to be. So maybe I can't parlez-vous français, just take me anyway. We both can't speak the language of love, so let's get this conversation on the road. Bonjour, mon ami. You shouldn't slap my face, you see, 'cause in America that means that you are mad. And then you show me how to find the door. I guess that's what they call them all. So for now it's just adieu to mon ami. So for now it's just adieu